Today we're actually going to talk about it's an MSP spotlight. So we're going to do a case study on how one MSP got 75 referrals and 18 clients in 90 days. So before we really dive into that, though, I want to first of all welcome everybody. And again, I'm Mike Stidol. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at PMT, and we're joined by MC Tracy. And MC, what the heck do you do?
I work mostly on our lead generation.
Yep. So our director of lead generation on the marketing team, along with being our resident and expert on hiring, training, managing interns for SDRs, all sorts of
Yep.
things with that. And then speaking of events, MC, any event we should let people know about?
Yeah, I think we should let them know about our upcoming roadshow.
Oh, good, good. You figured this one out here. So if you guys who put it in chat if you're coming to Roadshow and which one you're coming to. So we've got the MSP Sales Roadshow. It kicks off in just about I think technically 2 weeks from today, if I'm doing my math right here, in Chicago. We've still got a few seats left for that as of this morning. We like update these daily now, so it's 93% full. Yesterday, Chicago was 90% full. Now 93. That's important. Newark, that happens a couple weeks later in September, 71% full. And Las Vegas, we are in an oversold situation on here. But guys, this is a 2-day live in-person event that we do. And Robin is going to be talking about how to effortlessly sell more high-dollar IT and managed service contracts without fee resistance, discounting, or manipulative hard close sales tactics. If this is the first you're hearing about this, go to MSPSalesRoadshow.com. The URL is at the bottom of the slide to check it out. If you're not a member, make sure you click in that upper right to claim a $400 discount. We said that would be going away, but I think the place is going to be sold before that even goes away. If you are a member and you have not gotten your tickets yet, make sure to click on the active member link, and you'll put in your membership information, and your tickets are included with your membership. So do get those. Again, Chicago will probably be filled up in the next week or so here, and then Newark shortly thereafter. So moving on, let's talk about what we're going to get today. This is a super exciting day, and we asked a special guest on, and sorry, MC, MC's not our special guest. She's special, but not our special guest, because she's on every month with me as my partner in crime on these. But we asked Hunter Farlow, who's the marketing, I'll say director. I don't know if that's his official title now that I think about it, from Comtech and NC. And he gave a member presentation for our high-level membership at Producers Club. They have a competition each quarter that's a golden cone competition where 5 companies go up, share their best strategy, and then the about 300 or so attendees in Producers Club vote on who's the which strategy they like best in presentation. And Hunter won this past one just a couple weeks back in July, where he talked about how they ran a referral contest that got them 75 referrals, 35 proposals, and 18 new clients in just 90 days. Not shocking that people were super interested in it. It was a great presentation. So we asked Hunter if he'd do an encore here, go into it a little bit deeper, because I think he only gets, what did he get, 12 minutes MC at Producers Club? Something like that was the total time. It's quick,
Yeah.
it's rapid fire with that. So not a lot of time, no Q&A. And so I know we had a bunch of Producers Club members who saw it, who had questions, wanted to go through it again. And then everyone who's not a Producers Club member wanted to get you guys access, because it was just an outstanding presentation, an outstanding contest. So we wanted to bring you guys on so that you could see that. But first, what we're going to do, and so he'll come on in about 15 minutes here. First, though, we want to just show you how to get referrals by design instead of by chance. So you're going to hear this, what his competition was, the contest, be blown away. And some of your immediate thoughts would be, I can't do that. I can't go this big. I don't have the time, the money, the resources, the people, whatever it is. So he's going to talk about that too, because that was some of the beliefs within his company, and he had to sell this. And I think you'll be surprised when you see Hunter and see who he is and how he was able to sell this. But we want to give you exactly how to do this, no matter what your budget, no matter how long you've been in business or where you're located, just how to get referrals by design instead of by chance. We'll also talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that cost MSPs referrals. And then, like I said, we're going to bring him on for the 90-day referral contest that generated 75 leads, 35 proposals, and 18 clients. With that, if Hunter has an update on that, or if I got that wrong by a couple, he'll surely correct us. So I'm excited. So MC, we ready to rock? Or do we have people coming? We have anyone write in about Roadshow?
Oh, we had a lot of comments on where people are going. We have New York or Newark, Chicago, Vegas, Chicago. Yeah, we've got
So
lots of folks.
so all 3 of the options, the 3. So
And then just as a reminder for everybody, if you have any questions, drop them into the Q&A because the chat just gets full. So drop them into the Q&A and we will have time to answer any of your questions from what Mike talks about today and what Hunter talks about today.
Yeah, Hunter's graciously offered his time. He's super busy right now, and but he's agreed to come on and answer any questions that you guys have to help you out. So we're super grateful that he's doing that. And that's what's great about our members is they give back, show you what works best for them so that you can take it and grow your business. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. So let's talk about getting referrals. Just a couple quick things on that is crazy thing is most companies get referrals by chance. Every single new lead that comes into TMT that then schedules a one-on-one roadmap where they get a customized marketing campaign. We ask them a few questions. And one of the questions we ask is, where does your current business come from? And MC, do you know what the most common answer to that, where it's like 80% of the answers where the most common business where they currently get their business?
Referrals.
Referrals, yep, referrals. People say either referrals, word of mouth, which is also referrals, just a different way to say it. So the problem is it's a great way to grow initially, and if you do some things right, you can start, but you usually kind of level out, and you're getting referrals by chance. And what we want to do is create a plan to get referrals by design. We can't run our business on hope. We can't hope that a referral comes in. We can't hope that we get a new client. We can't hope that people don't leave with that. So we're going to talk about plans you can put in place to put referrals on overdrive, things you can do to purposely get referrals each and every week or each and every month into your business. The other great thing about referrals is they close at a much higher rate than a cold prospect. That is something that once somebody becomes a member of ours, if they've grown by word of mouth and referral, they then have to come in and learn how to kind of actually sell, because if you're going against cold prospect or going out to a cold prospect, even if they're interested in what you do, they might be talking to 2 or 3 others. They don't know who the heck you are. So you actually got to learn to sell a little bit there. But we're talking about referrals today because they are great. So we're going to show you how to get more of them. So first thing is a little bit of a mindset shift. Referrals are not something that happens by chance because you provide good work or service. That's the icing on the cake. Anything you've gotten so far where someone just kind of calls you out of the blue, emails you, said, hey, I was talking with MC at a party the other day. I mentioned to her the problems my company's having with our IT or we're expanding into the area and she suggested I talk with you. Those are absolutely great calls to get. However, we need to get them by design. And referrals happen by design as results of actions that you take to facilitate introduction to your ideal client. So let's talk about how we can generate introductions to clients. And first way is, do you publicly acknowledge referrals? Do you write emails about it? Do you have a newsletter? Do you make a video and say, hey, this just happened today? One of my favorite things is where all you do is you send out a quick email to your list, and the subject line is, I love it when this happens. And then you just describe how you got a referral that day and say, hey, I was sitting in my office and today MC, who owns a accounting firm in Nashville, called me up. She had been referred by a longtime client and she was looking to expand or do whatever. You just say a little bit about it. And then you say, hey, if you know of anyone who could use the kind of service that I provide, click here or tell them to call me at or call me with their information, which is even better. So again, the subject line is just, I love it when this happens. And then you quickly describe how today you received that referral and a couple details about it. Obviously, don't say the company's name or whatever on it. Don't give away the secret sauce with that, especially before you get the business and the contract signed. But just put that out there. Are you publicly acknowledging it? The big thing is you want to make sure, like if MC had given the referral, I want to say longtime client MC Tracy, who owns a great business here, blah, blah, blah. You talk about that because people want to be acknowledged for giving those referrals. So what are you doing, whether it's email, newsletters, postcards, any and every way that you can say thank you to them publicly. Secondly, do you have events to facilitate introductions? And Hunter's going to talk about some of this, but when I was in real estate, every month I would have I called it a client happy hour. And because it was a client happy hour, pretty self-explanatory, but I had a lot of clients who were teachers. So I'd actually have it starting at about 4 o'clock and it would go to about 7 o'clock and at a local restaurant. And I'd order appetizers and then people could get a drink, whatever. And I'd invite all my clients and tell them, hey, bring a friend, bring a coworker, whatever. Wasn't even about business. I didn't give a speech. It wasn't a private room. It was just to go there and facilitate those introductions. So oftentimes that would reconnect with clients. We develop kind of a more personal relationship instead of just a business relationship and talk about how we're doing and just stay top of mind with them. And then, of course, when they bring a friend, when they bring a neighbor, when they bring a coworker, I could add them to the list. And a lot of times they'd bring someone who had talked about either buying or selling a home or might be new to the area or something. So if you tell them bring someone, especially if they know, and tell them to bring other business owners. You don't have to say just bring anyone. Tell them, hey, other business owners that you know, bring them by for this happy hour, whatever. There's lots of different types of events you can do. I kept it super simple. And I got vendors to pay for most of it. So you could go to an attorney, with title companies, whatever it was, home inspectors, and they would pay for this. These were not expensive things. They cost me probably $400 to $600 a month, depending on how many people came, because I'd go to the same restaurant again and again and get like happy hour prices on food and appetizers. So, but what are you doing to facilitate those? Are you making it easy for people to introduce you to other business owners who might need your help in the future? Third thing, are you mentioning it in all of your media? So we kind of talked about this with publicly acknowledging referrals, but are you talking about referrals in newsletters, emails, videos, reports, anything that you have? Just mention about referrals, what it is, and we'll give you some examples of how we do it in just a minute. And then, are you doing any type of consistent marketing to give case studies for referrals? So I'm going to show you what I mean with that, because a lot of times people need to know kind of who you're looking for. So again, kind of going back to the real estate example, I would talk about people like who their last kid, I would do this one in the fall, almost every fall about August or September. I would talk about clients who were downsizing because for the first time in 18 or 20 or 25 years, they were empty nesters. Their last child had gone away to college. And while it's a bittersweet moment, they now had options. They realized they had been in a family home for years and now they wanted to move to the lake house, the house on a golf course, whatever, something different because they didn't have 2, 3 kids at home anymore. And it gave them more options. So I talk about that. Or I'd talk about newlyweds or somebody new in town, a new employee, their first time buyer, all of that, because it just jogs people's memories. So you could talk about, hey, do you know businesses that are expanding? Do you know businesses that are moving? Do you know businesses that are actually, I'll say, like going remote? They're not necessarily expanding, they're just changing their mode of operation. Talk about the different niches you help or the types of people that you work with, and people will think of it a lot more with that. So let's talk about, are we getting the word out there? So any of our members on here, you guys get the marketing strategy brief each month. And this looks a little bit different from time to time, but on the left here, there's the referral reward of the month. And it says refer a new client, get your choice of one of the following, either $300 cash or a 43-inch smart TV. And that's for referring a person who actually sits the consult. Doesn't matter what happens on the consult, as long as they schedule and sit the consult, and they're a qualified business owner. It can't be like MC's telling her sister, hey, get on this consult. And if you got any friends, like I'll split the $300. We'll have like a dozen TVs. We'll have TVs for everyone. All of that. It's got to be a qualified consult. But then if they actually become a member, that goes from $300 to $1,000. So anyhow, the cash incentive, do you make it easy? Do you get this out there? We do this every single month in 5,000 plus newsletters that we send out to our active members on here. And it's its own flyer. It's not just in there because we want this to fall out. And then it gives you exactly how to do that. And this is a little shot of the online form. With that, I'll show you the full website in just a second. But the reason we also do $300 or the smart TV is because sometimes employees aren't allowed to get like cash incentives from things, or they feel awkward getting a cash incentive if they know it's from their employer. But the employer, they can't split like a smart TV. So if they say, "Hey, I got this TV because I gave a referral," sometimes that's just as exciting or even more exciting, or they're not prohibited from doing that sort of thing. Plus, now they're thinking about, oh yeah, I could kind of use that TV, and we tell them like exactly what TV it is. We're not just saying get a TV worth about $300. We're telling them exactly it's a 43-inch smart TV, the 1080p Roku smart TV. Probably got to update that. Now I'm thinking about it. I was looking at TVs a couple weeks ago. Like you can get crazy TVs for like $300 to $500 now. It's silly, but so here's the page also that they can go to. So again, it says refer your friends, get a cash bonus of 300 and $1,000 if they become a client. Enter your information. 3 steps, super easy. Refer a friend, refer a vendor, some FAQs, and then just their information, and then the friend's information. That's all it takes for them to enter the referral. If you guys want to check this out, it's at technologymarketingtoolkit.com/refer. We could probably throw that into the chat, MC, so you guys can check out that page. It's just super simple, and every single month we get referrals doing that, and we love to give out that money. So anyhow, again, because those referrals close at a much higher rate, they don't really need to be sold. Most of the selling comes from you guys as the person referring, so you've done the job, which is why we pay you. So moving on, there's also, oops, go next slide. These video ones always get me. Let's just do that. Okay, testimonial postcard templates. So all of our members each month with Prospect Hopper, if you didn't realize this, several months ago, back in, I think it was May, we put in 2 new types of monthly postcards you can send that are all about like stories of success and testimonials that are designed to get you referrals. So this is just the template. You drag and drop the information in there, but look under your member services and Prospect Hopper, and you'll see these in there. And so this is the one that's the story of success. And I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but the whole idea is you're writing just a quick paragraph about a situation. It's like an elongated testimonial or a very abbreviated case study. So you talk about who you worked with, what niche they were in, what were their problems, why hadn't they been solved, what was the outcome after working with you, and then you end with, who do you know who also might be a business owner in the Nashville area who's suffering from X, Y, and Z problems? And it tells you how to do that. Now, in this deck, so you guys are all going to get the recordings of this as well. I gave an example. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this just follows that 5-part sequence. Again, niche they were in, the problems that they had, why they weren't solved, what happened after they worked with you, and then who do you know with a manufacturing company that deals with similar issues and would like to eliminate them forever. Do know this is not the example of the actual postcard. This is just the example of the writing on there. This is not the styled one that looks nice and all. So there's that one you can write, or we also have a very simple one that is the testimonial one in here as well. So you guys can use that. These are great to send out to your current clients, your unconverted leads, everything like that. Instead of a free discovery call, you could say, hey, go to technologymarketingtoolkit.com/refer if you know of anyone who would like to experience this kind of service. So you can change those up. Would take you probably about 5 minutes total to put the information in there, get your logo, get your URL, and be off to the races. So let's talk about how we do this, get an actual plan. So some things you got to answer. What do you currently do when someone introduces you to someone new? You got to remember, it's not their job to get someone to sign up with you. You got to acknowledge the activity, not just the outcome. That's why on our adding referral we get, as long as they sit the consultation, no matter what the outcome is, the person who gave us the referral gets that $300, and we pay that like right away, because if they're the type of person who refers, they're the type of person who refers. Now that sounds kind of stupid, but it's the whole 80-20 rule. You'll usually find that 80% of your referrals come from 20% of your clients. So someone who refers is likely to refer again and again and again. They're like what's known as like a connector in the community. Secondly, when a person who was introduced becomes a client, what do you do? So first, when someone introduces someone new, and then when they actually become a client. So to kind of figure this out, figure out what you would pay usually to get a new client. How much would you have paid to get that client if it weren't from a referral? So we were just going through some numbers, I think it was yesterday afternoon, MC. And do you remember right now, just from a just pure marketing spend, not the overall salary and office and everything, what a new client was costing us like in July, roughly?
Around $600.
So, I think that was the cost per sit. I think we're at like about 1,400 to 1,900 for the actual client. So we did cost per sit also. So that's just to sit an appointment with us. It's about 600. So that's why we'll gladly pay someone else 300 if they get someone to sit for us. We had to still send the shock and awe boxes. We still had to follow up. It still cost us a bunch of money, but we're willing to pay about half that to the person just for giving us the name, and we'll take it from there. But if they actually become a client, we know that just in direct cost, that's costing us on a monthly basis, let's call it $1,500 to $2,000. If we factored everything in, it's probably like $4,000 to $5,000 with that. But that's why we'll then gladly pay $1,000 for a new client. And again, they just gave us the name. We did a lot of the other things. We have a lot of other costs involved in there, but we're happy to do that. And are you willing to spend that same or more to get a referral? So think of this. These could be your best advertisement. So here's a sample plan for just someone giving you an introduction. This is like an actual picture. This is a company I used for years because someone sent this to me like for a referral. And then I'm like, oh, these look awesome. So send these out. These like make an impact. You got to immediately acknowledge the introduction with a call. So like if MC sent me a referral and I talked to Joe, I'd immediately call MC up and say, hey, MC, thanks so much for referring Joe. We've got an appointment set for next Tuesday. I just want you to know I'll take great care of Joe, answer his questions, regardless of the outcome. Second, send a note to MC. Hey, MC, thanks again for sending Joe. I'm looking forward to meeting with him next week. So hit them up with a call and then do a note immediately. This is a sample plan. This is like a great plan though, so you should do it. Then send a pre-planned gift. Know exactly what you're going to do because you, again, want to make sure this is a plan. So you're not trying to figure it out at the time. You want to have a stack of thank you cards ready to go already, because if you got to go to wherever and get thank you cards, it's just not going to happen. Have the stamps, have everything there. So send a pre-planned gift. Here's 3 different places. So yeah, there's Baked by Melissa. That's these little 25 mini cupcakes that you can get. Wicked Good cupcakes. I must have been hungry, MC, making this slide, but that's my usual state. Wicked Good cupcakes is another one that's easy, sends nationwide, and then brownies.com. I think when you go there, it's actually fairy tale brownies. They do a bunch of things. I actually like a baked good for the introductory one, and I will usually send this to an office. That's why I like the 25 to 50, because then they get all their office mates and they're like, who sent this? Why are these here? And it's like, oh, Mike sent them because I gave him a referral on that. So that's why I do like kind of something like that initially. Now, and all of these options, you can spend like anywhere from about 25 to $50 total on that. Now, sample plan for a new client, again, even if MC had done it, now I want to say, hey, just met with Joe. He signed a proposal. We're super pumped. I'm looking forward to meeting with his team, getting everything going. We're going to have people on site at his office over the next couple of weeks. None of this would have happened if it weren't for UMC. So thanks for caring enough and trusting us enough to make that introduction. So I want to, once again, call MC to thank her. Ask the client to let the referrer know that they are happy. So this is another important part. I want to say, hey, Joe, like this is working, like it's been pleasure working with you. Do you mind giving a call? I know MC gave you my name in the first place. Do you mind giving MC a call? Just let her know that you're happy and that we took care of you, because I really promised MC that we'd take great care of you. And if there's ever anything you need from me, please let me know, because then MC is getting another call now from Joe instead. Then again, have a pre-planned, and I'll call it an event. So it could be inviting people to a local place for lunch. You could bring a barista into their office. You can like hire that. Or one thing I liked, use this a bunch of times, graders.com. They have like a deluxe party pack where it sends 6 pints with like toppings, spoons, bowls, napkins, everything you need. And we bring it to people's offices, have those delivered. They open it up and you kind of have like this little ice cream party. Do it half an hour, because then you talk to all of the other employees as well. So it was just a cool little thing that you can do from that. And so all of these things, depending on what it was, like Graders is probably the cheapest, about $100 to do that. And then depending on lunch or having the barista brought in. But again, you're getting a brand new client out of this that would have cost you probably thousands and thousands of dollars to get through marketing or through other sources. Do this, and this is how you get referrals by design instead of by chance. Finally, before we bring on Hunter, so Hunter's out in the background. He's like stretching, warming up there, getting his arm loose because he's about to get on. Let's have some tracking in place. 3 things to track. Let's see. Do you know who gave you a referral in the past? Or I think it's 4 things now that I say that. Who gave you a referral in the past? Do you know how many referrals you've gotten this year? Do you know the lifetime value of the referrer? And do you have a goal for referrals? And this is for you and for others. We've got to track all of this stuff to make sure that it's actually happening. We got to have goals for referrals. Techs, who's ever on the phone, should have goals for referrals, and you should give them the instruments, the postcards, the whatever, that they can do that when they're talking to people, when they're going out there. There was a dentist used to not like work for, but they were a client, and they would put pins on all of their employees and say like, ask me how to win a free trip to Hawaii or a free cruise or whatever their thing was. And it was a pin that the employees wore, and patients would ask, and they're like, yeah, well, we got a referral contest. And anyone who refers us, it's like 3 new patients this year will get a
So I
cruise.
don't know if it's any.
Oh, MC, can you not hear me? Am I frozen? Can you guys hear me who are on here? Okay, Tito's saying I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, I think MC might have frozen there. So, okay, thanks guys. Let's see. So just simple things like that, but you could do that, especially if you have techs or people who go on site. They ask me about how to win a free cruise. Again, you can get these cruises for like super cheap. There's packages. And again, you can put stipulations around that. So finally, let's do the 5 big mistakes. First of all is referrals happen by accident instead of on purpose, because you don't have a plan. Most people don't have a vehicle to actually generate referrals proactively. They don't have events, the newsletter, the emails. We run ineffective referral contests, and then we have no plan for when a referral comes in. And then finally, the things are not tracked, so you don't know if it's actually working. So you got to make sure that these things are going on in your business. So with that, yeah, MC just popped her head in my office and was trying to figure out if we're still going, but it seems like we're still going on this. So let's see, Hunter, if you're in the background, you can join me for this this last slide here, because we're just going to be talking about referral contests here, but Hunter's going to be talking more about these. But for referral contests, how to run an effective referral campaign: first, have a big ass prize; 2, have a deadline; 3, have explicit instructions on how to win. 4, tell people why they should refer you. 5, create mini deadlines throughout. And then what Hunter's really going to talk about here is market it repeatedly and everywhere: newsletters, emails, videos, events, social media, calls, websites, pins, email signature lines, auto attendance, and of course, in-car karaoke. So with that, Hunter, let's unmute you. Let's introduce you to everybody. So Hunter, why don't you tell us kind of a little bit about where you are and Comtech, and just your story with them, and how old were you when you presented your concept to the owner of this? So come on in, Hunter.
Oh God. Hey Mike, what's going on, man?
How's it going? And Hunter's like just a great marketer, works for a great company. I mean, they started out as accelerators members. What was that, 2018, 2019? Somewhere
probably 2018, right after I graduated high school. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys can get an idea for how young Hunter is here. Just dove in both feet into the kind of the family business here, took things, and within about a year and a half of joining this, had this crazy idea. So I'm going to stop sharing screen because I know Hunter's going to have some slides. But Hunter, so tell us a little bit about Comtech and where you guys are located, and if you can, about if you remember what size you were when you ran the contest.
Yeah, sure, Mike. Before I get into that real quick, though, I want to say thank you for going over everything you did prior to this, because it really sets the stage for the campaign that we ran. And everything you talked about was awesome. And I actually took notes because I haven't seen that in a while, and I got some golden nuggets myself. And I love that Corvette you stuck in there.
So yeah, I know. So, yeah, you gotta get vehicles to drive introductions. So yeah, and Hunter's an amazing implementer. That's what differentiates a lot of the successful from that. Like, he came in, he heard about contests, he's like, I think this is a little small. We're going to go big. And he went big. 75 referrals in 90 days, 35 proposals, 18 new clients. So take it away.
Yeah, thanks, man. To answer your question earlier, we were probably, at the time when we ran this campaign, we were, I'm going to say probably 3 million, in the $3 million range or so. So that puts us in relative terms of the revenue of the company. And we're based out of Graham, North Carolina. So that's it's a small place. I always say I live under a rock, because I really, really do. I don't leave my house but like twice a week, don't watch the news. So I personally live under a rock. But our business does as well, so to speak, meaning we don't have a gigantic, enormous list where we're at. I mean, we started off with a bunch of companies right here locally. And as we kept scaling up our services and raising our prices, more and more businesses just didn't fit the cut. And so we had to keep expanding outside of our area, beyond the one stoplight where everybody else is, and start trying to get new business. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. We're not in a massive, massive city like some other folks, which that works to your advantage 100%. But I'm going to start sharing my screen, Mike, if that's all right.
Absolutely. If you have the ability.
I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do this right. So if I don't, just let me know.
Okay. We'll get it there. Okay. Yeah, that's showing up all right. Here.
Let's see. Hopefully that little thing will go away. All right, cool. Do you able to see my slides?
We got your slides, and the Zoom stuff we can't see. So any of the Zoom controls don't show up on ours.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's nice. Well, cool. Well, I would like to talk to you guys about electrifying your network and unleashing the power of referrals with a Tesla. And it really did that exact thing for us. We had no idea that it would electrify our network in terms of our client base and get them inspired and fired up to refer people to us, and increase our network as far as people that didn't even know us, that were starting to come out of the woodwork and just say, I want to do business with you. And it's because of this crazy idea for a car giveaway. And we did a Tesla because they're not known in our area. that it's a really different car. At the time, no Teslas was around. So a little bit different a few years back. But we ran this back in 2020. And the inspiration for this idea actually came from one day I was in my office doing my quarterly planning like everybody does and wondering what we're going to do. We can do more Google ads. We can do and tweak our SEO. We can do a heck of a lot more mailers and phone calls. And then I'm like squirrel brain a little bit because I'm young. I'm like going all over the place. And I remembered when Chris Hoos won the Better Your Best competition and got given a Tesla Model S by Robin. And I was like, that is a crazy idea. But TMT is a really large company. And is there any possibility that we could do something like that, given our size, but do it for our client base? How cool would that be? So I have my little whiteboard. I live and die by a whiteboard, you guys. So on the wall, whiteboard, and I scribbled down in about 45 minutes all the different activities and everything we would do. You were talking about a plan earlier, Mike, and a plan is absolutely crucial for promoting a referral contest. So once I had the plan in place in about 45 minutes, I was like, well, that's great, but if the numbers don't work, then this whole thing has to be scrapped. So I ran the numbers, and I think it's pretty feasible. So I run it to my CEO, run it past him, make sure all the numbers look good, because I didn't go to college, so my math ain't the best. And he said, well, yeah, it works. So in 24 hours later, we had written a check, had a Tesla ordered, and it was on the way. So the referral contest is actually really simple. Oh, I can use my keyboard. That's cool. All right.
Hey, Hunter, I'm sorry, just one thing. When you say that you ran the numbers, because I think this was one of the coolest things that people need to get. Like, you first figured it out, not on like what the Tesla is going to cost overall, but you did it on the monthly basis with that. So I think, and remind me, or we can kind of make up numbers, but you're like, hey, with insurance and the car payment and everything, it's going to cost X amount a month. I'll call it $600. And then you said, hey, if we get this much new MRR, we can cover that. Now I dropped here. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear me? We hear you, Mike. Okay. I thought our office was having problems. So we're losing our people left and right. Yeah, so okay. Well, we'll get the coolest car or the coolest idea. So we'll get Hunter back. Yeah, he just dropped off. So he must be getting back on. See, this is why I like hardwire in. MC was on Wi-Fi. We gotta call our IT guy. Great, no audio. Yeah, sorry about that, Wes. So we'll get Hunter back. I think he fell off also. He's not here at the office, so we got major problems with our co-presenters. That's why I just usually present. So we will be getting him back. If you have any questions about anything I went over, you can put those in now while we wait for Hunter to get back on. So, Mike Mullen saying dance. Trust me, no one wants to see that. You'd rather just end early and go back. Let me. Just gonna write MC to make sure she can work with Hunter to get back on. Make sure he knew he fell off. With that, so I got knocked off earlier. Maybe Zoom is having problems, says Wes. Oh, the robot. Great. Oh, yeah, that would not be a good one here. So, I mean, the big thing with Hunter is like I could give his presentation. I saw it, but what do you need IT support? I know. Well, maybe Hunter needs IT support. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like Tito. Hunter, you need some IT support. So isn't that embarrassing when it's like your thing and then it's down? Oh, Rick, is Zoom having problems? I don't want to click on the link, but Rick just posted about down detector. So we'll hopefully get Hunter back on. Let's see, we've got a couple Q&A. So we'll do this while we get him back. And trust me, guys, it's worth it. Sorry about the tech difficulties. Looks like Zoom may be having some issues today. So it just keeps kicking people off. But what would be a great alternative gift to a Tesla, especially if you're a smaller MSP? And that's kind of where we were with that. So that this was an interesting one. Was that Hunter, he was just going into it, and I think this is when he froze, or he was just really scared of the math, and he's like, "I'm getting out of here." He's like, "I warned you, I didn't go to college, and math was not his best course." But he figured out that all in the car insurance, all that was going to cost them whatever. I'll say was about $600 a month because they got the version that was about a $45,000 car, and they're like, over 5 years, here's what the monthly payments will be, and then said, "Hey, it's $600. That's not that much MRR we need to add, even to cover that from a profit standpoint." And then they built into the contest that they had to get, I believe it was 10,000 in new MRR, or they could extend the contest until they generated 10,000 in new MRR. So they figured, hey, if it's going to cost me 600 a month, but I've added $10,000 a month, there's plenty of profit margin in what we've done in order to cover the cost of the car. Now, once they were doing it, they were so committed, they went to see the Tesla, and then they said, "Hey, let's just buy it outright. It'll be better for us. It'll be cheaper in the long run." They were that confident about how the contest was going to go, that they do that. And they said, "Hey, let's go ahead and do it ahead of time, because then we own it so that we can use it for all the promo videos and everything." So I got some people contacting. Okay, so Debbie Bush, who's always great and helping us in the background, she said she's was finding we were having connectivity issues. You guys can hear me, and I'm at the office, so I think it's not this. So anyhow, but for smaller prizes, there we go. We got Hunter back, but we'll talk about some other prizes and stuff. Hunter, we weren't sure if you left because I asked a math question, and you're like, "Forget this. I was told there would be no math. That was in my rider. You should have read through it. I'm out of here."
I did. It's actually it's actually in the agreement before I agree to publicly speak anywhere. It's a big thing. I don't know how you missed it. So I jumped.
Yeah, well, math is more of an art than a science, anyways, really. So we can fudge it. So, okay. So I've got some other questions in here. We'll get back to those. So Matt and some others, I see your questions. It's Hunter's business and MSP. Yeah, Peter. It's comtechnc.com. Did I get that right, Hunter?
Yeah, I will actually throw it in the chat, and don't hate on our website is good, but it is actually in the middle of a revamp. Was supposed to go live today. So if you are looking at it, Mike talked about, if you're running a contest, put it anywhere and everywhere, and you will see that evidence of that actually probably by worst case tomorrow. So I encourage you to revisit it tomorrow to see an awesome display of that, because that's a teaser. I won't let the cat out of the bag yet. Okay. But I do, Mike, will apologize in advance. I'm on my phone hotspot now because there's a raging storm coming through.
Okay.
No idea.
So that knocked you out? Okay. Well, thanks for getting back on.
I'm going to try my best. Let's hope it stays steady.
Okay. So, well, thanks. And yeah, if you want to share slides again, you just flipped over to the next slide. I think I answered the question about it, and you said you guys wrote a check, you got the car, and then what was happening? We did, and we are an MSP, so we were getting to that. Mike, you had a question someone asked. Yep. If we are an MSP, and we 100% are. So we only service businesses, and we do normal IT support, and we also do phone systems, VoIP phone systems. And just like a bunch of other people that are also MSPs in our area, how can we differentiate? How can we be different? And that is what this whole referral campaign was about, and how to stand out. So to make it really easy, how the referral campaign works is real simple. Just one entry to a person, one entry per computer covered in the service agreement, and one entry per phone covered in the service agreement. Like I said, we do a lot of IT support and phone systems.
and we support them. It's a white label solution, so it's not Ring Central, whatever. People come to us for the support. So that's why we were able to give an entry for both, because we know if we get in the door for phones, later on they're going to come on for IT, and vice versa as upsell. So, all right, now my keyboard is not working. I got to click on the screen. So you might be wondering, how does the finances work? You kind of talked about that a little bit, Mike, of running the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for us, we don't do contracts. That's another thing that makes us unique, and it's also risky. So for us, we do month-to-month normal agreements. And thinking about this campaign, though, we had to really drag it out, because we know our clients stay with us for quite a while, but let's just average it for 3 years, because that's typically the most time for a contract if somebody has one. So the car itself cost $45,000, and that was straight through Tesla. I tried, man, I tweeted Elon Musk. I went to the store. I begged them to try and do a partnership with us. They didn't care. They're like, go on the laptop, put your order in. So no haggling and wheeling and dealing, $45,000. And that's a base model. No thrills, just the bare bones. And then we had a $5,000 promotional budget, and that was everything. All of our direct mail, all of our postcards, the events we put on, we covered it all in $5,000. Once all of that's accounted for, all of our chips are in, we're all in only 50 grand for this whole campaign. And it did only last 90 days. So I know that's a lot of money in 90 days, but when you spread it out over 3 years, it only comes down to $1,388 in new MRR. And my guess is that that's like one client for most people. I think y'all's average MRR keeps climbing up. At the time when we did this, I know our average MRR was only $1,218. So it was like just under. So we knew that we needed about 2 to 3 new clients, and it's probably the same for you, to really cover our tails on this campaign, cover our costs, make a little bit of money, and make it successful. Now, this game plan and planning we talked about a little bit earlier for a contest is essential. So for us, during that 90 days, we really needed to start it off and start it off big. And I actually jumped on a call with Mike and brainstormed and said, how can we do this? Because this is the biggest thing I've ever done. I've never done anything bigger. And he's like, it's easy. Start off with teaser time. Rip off and duplicate. That's all we do. I watch TMT do things successfully and just implement it into your own business. So we started off with teaser time, a launch event, and a double entry 72-hour sprint. So for teaser time, post on social media and use your email blast, tease people something big is coming, and to share the news and get on, because there's a huge announcement they cannot miss. And on that announcement is going to be a launch event. And this is, make it a big deal. This is where Mike was talking about earlier. You tell people who you want as a client, how to refer you, who makes a good client for you, and educate them to essentially go be your salespeople. Your referral warms up you. You don't really have to sell. You've already been sold to, technically. And they put you up on a pedestal. But show them the website, show them the form. Mike showed that quick video earlier of how to fill out the form. You put your information here, put the folks you're referring, walk them through that web page so it's not foreign to them, make it really easy. And that will kick off your event and your 90 days really well, because you have a double entry sprint. And that first 72 hours, you will receive, or at least we did, we received, gosh, almost probably 50% of the referrals in the first 3 days than we gained the whole 90 days. So it was huge. So we put a lot of effort into this launch event and made it worthwhile.
So just to clarify, Hunter, and I do this hesitantly because last time I asked a question, you ran away. But the double entry split, what does, or sprint, what's that mean?
That means, good question. That means that if I go back 1 or 2 slides here, oh gosh, yeah, it's terrible. I won't do that. Everyone got one entry for a computer. let's say a computer for an example. You get one entry covered in the service agreement. Well, in that first 72 hours, if you just submitted your friend's information, you have no idea if they're interested, you haven't even talked to them yet, or maybe you have, but you just submit their info in the first 72 hours. If they happen to come on board at any point in the 90 days, you get double entries. Instead of getting one entry, you get two. So you double the chances instantly of winning the car. And
so if there's 10 employees, they have 10 computers, 10 phones, it would typically be 20 entries. And they just had to give the name in that first 72 hours. They obviously don't become a client in the 72 hours. So
correct.
usually it would be 20 points total because 10 phones, 10 computers. But he said for the first 72 hours, you get double. So if they come on, now you got 40 tickets into the entry bin instead of 20. So, and you said
Absolutely.
half your referrals then came in that first 3 days.
Absolutely. And now come to think of it, the person who won the car got or took advantage of this double entries at the beginning, and they only just did phone. So
Okay.
it definitely works out in your favor if you get your information in. But that really kickstarts the campaign, right? It's like, oh, we're off to a good start. We did something people like when you see referrals start pouring in. And that's when it gets a little hectic and awesome at the same time. Great question, though. Throughout this event or 90-day game plan, Mike talked about creating events, facilitating events where you intentionally ask for referrals and you want them, and continuing your other efforts that you typically do. So for events, we would go to golf tournaments and we would take the car everywhere. There's me at a golf tournament. I'm now nicknamed Smiley for some reason. I think it's because of that picture. I don't know what I was on that day. I've never been more excited in my entire life, I don't think, for poker chips, which is what I'm on, and a car to give away. But anywho, so we take the car out on the green, let people see it and touch it and get inside of it, take pictures with it. There's an example of postcard there that we sent out, one of many that we did, giant postcards throughout the campaign. And we would do direct mail as well, just continuing our efforts, keeping them going. But we would just steer every effort we did towards the car giveaway. And then we would use that as the lead magnet. Did you know we were giving away a car? You can win this Tesla. And they asked, tell me how. And then you explain, we're an IT company. We do phone systems. We do cybersecurity, etc. And it gets you in the door.
So I love that's your booth driver. It's, hey, win a Tesla. You're not even leading with like what you do. It's just, hey, win a Tesla. You see this car right here. You want it? Yeah, let's talk. So
exactly.
The ultimate booth driver. Okay, I love it.
It absolutely is. I mean, I'm not good looking enough by myself to bring in all the people. So that's not like a magnet. So we got to have a car there that really attracts the people. And it does. It does just that. Exactly. And, 90 days is a long time, to be honest with you. People are busy, and so people kind of check out a little bit. So we decided to do something different and do fun videos and host events throughout those 90 days. So the events we were talking about being intentional, we already hosted a client appreciation day every year. And typically it was just in our parking lot with barbecue, and we just make food for people. But this time we actually rented out a venue. We were able to get the car into the venue and make it front and center, obviously. And people were all around it. They could see it. Folks were looking up underneath it because they'd never seen an electric car up close. So like, how's this thing work? It's all shielded, and asking a bunch of questions I didn't know the answer to. And it was great. And everybody, when they sat in there, would always do the same thing. They just sit down, relax, and then take in a big breath. And they would take in that new car smell that they always want to achieve at least once in their life. And this could be the opportunity for them. So it fueled referrals. And you can't see it really well in this picture, but on the other side of the car is actually the tumbler that had the entries at the time. And people were able to see legitimate entries in there and put entries in and submit referrals right there. I think we gave $100 extra at the end of the event to people who had submitted referrals on just slips of paper that day. And I know we gained 2 or 3 clients alone from this event of intentionally asking people to submit referrals and gain new business from it.
And just to remind everyone, this is happening in the fall of 2020, right, Hunter?
Yes, it was the fall of 2020 final quarter. So September.
So you'll see masks in here. He's having live events in the fall of 2020 when this was not easy to do, and they're still getting these kind of results here. So
absolutely. Yeah, we were doing it. You'll see. Yeah, COVID was rampant for sure. And it was a thing. And so you will see folks with masks, and that impacted the way we had to do things. You'll see that very soon. Absolutely. All right, go forward. There we go. I talked about the fun videos, and Mike referenced it earlier with car karaoke. And we did a video and produced it. We've got a talented team here on staff, and we did everything in-house. So we have a series of actually 12 videos on our YouTube channel. Same thing, just at Comtech NC. You'll find us on YouTube. And there's a whole playlist dedicated to the Tesla giveaway. And we did 12 videos, but after the 12, the 2 most popular were the drag race, where we rented a drag strip. I got to take the Tesla down the drag strip as fast and as hard as it would go, pedal to the floor. My dad at the time had a C7 Corvette. Of course, it's, gas and raw power. And so there was a rivalry at the office, and clients would show up and ask, which is faster, the Tesla or the Corvette? Because they were always parked beside each other. So if you go watch that video, you'll see some really bad acting on my part, and a lot of fun, though, and you'll see who wins that drag race. But the most effective video was the car karaoke. And, oh, thanks, Mike. I see you put that in there. Oh, our hand's a little different than I thought it was going to be. All right. Thank you for putting that in there, though. But, yeah, go check it out. The most fun video, though, was, you guys have probably seen the Late Late Show with somebody that does it. I can't remember the name. It just drives around and sings music. And that's exactly what we did with one of our clients. He's a theater actor and drama guy, and he can sing real well. And we picked him up and just started having a fun time for purely entertainment. And what happened out of that as a result is it was entertaining and funny. And people on social media, our clients, started sharing. Yes, the Late Late Show with James Corden. I think you're right. That's correct. Thank you, Rick, for the help there. That's exactly who it was. And those are funny. Like, you sit and watch those at nighttime or whenever. So we replicated that, and that was the most effective video we had to share the word of what we were doing, because we talked about our referral campaign. And Willie there gave a raving testimonial we weren't planning on. So it let everyone know who we were, what we did, why we were in business, and how their business has thrived as a result of it. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. So videos and events are very, very good, but you really need people at the very end there. Even though they might be engaged, you got to get them to close. You need that MRR at the very end. So you want to do a 2-time sprint. So we talked about at the beginning, a 2 times entry sprint at the very beginning to get them in. And then that's why they're coming to you anyway, is to get more entries to win the car. So give them more of what they want. Give them double entries, again, to the people you've quoted to make them close. You don't care how many entries they get. Somebody's getting the car anyway. You just want more MRR. So do an incentive to close the last week or 2 weeks before the campaign ends, and really kick up people's chances of winning and boost your MRR. You want to end this campaign the same way that you started it. Do an awesome giveaway party, just the same as we did at the beginning. Create value for your client and strengthen your community around what you've been doing this whole 90 days. We did that, and we had planned on having a restaurant booked out, one of our clients, and having a whole bunch of people, but unfortunately, COVID messed that up for us. We had to do it remotely. And as you can see there, there's Andrea Davis, who won the car on the left. She was the final winner. But that day we had more than just the car giveaway. We had music, we had trivia about IT, and networking and our company background. We gave away prizes. And then lastly, we did reveal that Andrea was the winner. And she came all the way in Burlington, which is us. I mean, it's like a 20-minute drive. But she immediately dropped work and came to pick up that car the very same day. And she went from a 1999 Camry to a 2020 Tesla spaceship, is what I call it, because those things are so weird. But she was thrilled. It was awesome. So as you can imagine, it would make a big difference. And on her life, it had. She has taken this car. We didn't know this would happen, but she fell in love with this car and taken it to, as you can see, there's a mural there. She's taken it on a road trip. She takes pictures of it with her family barn and outside, posts them on social media. Everyone who asks her or noticed, hey, you got a new car, and it's really weird for her to get a Tesla, if you knew her, they asked, why? And she said, well, I gave it for free. I want it. And let me tell you about it. And she is a walking, talking billboard for us to this day. And she's one of our, of course, biggest raving fans. So after this 90 days, after everything is concluded, Mike has kind of, let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but it's okay. We did generate 75 referrals in these 90 days. And we had 32 quotes come out of that, 18 new clients, and then our new clients were made up of $9,372.90 in new MRR. Now, I know that is not a crazy number. It's not super, super high. But for me as a marketer, that is the only thing I can ask for, is to plan a campaign, execute it within a time period, have clear calls to action, and see results. And those results I cannot really control for that big 9,300 number, but I can control the referrals. That's what I'm responsible for. And it definitely worked, because 75 referrals was my target goal. I was like, if we can get 75 referrals, that's unheard of. I've never seen it in 90 days. And we did just that. So I'm proud of that.
Well, Hunter, I think most people would be happy if they got 75 referrals in the last 5 years, much less in the last 90 days. Here, like that's an amazing number for that. So once again, congratulations on that. So guys, you can ask questions that you have, and we have a couple in there. Then I'm also throwing in chat for after, and maybe we'll show it at the end for those that want to hang on after we come off. One of my favorite videos I found, Hunter, after you spoke a couple weeks back, was you guys had a video of you actually giving the car to Andrea. And it's only like a minute and a half long. So I'll play that at the very end. So those that want to drop off can at that time. But it's just awesome with that. But one of the things you did, and remind me if Andrea actually took advantage of this, or maybe it was just others, you had the idea to go to your current, I'll call it like unconverted leads, and say, hey, you can refer yourself, put yourself in this contest. And then if we meet and you buy right now, so it gave your like unconverted leads or like people who are hanging out. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dan Gribble actually just had a very similar question for that insight. And you're right. We did have the idea to allow people to self-refer. So when you think of referrals, typically you only think of your current client telling someone they know about you, and then that person coming on board or you meeting with them. Well, we knew that that was a possibility, and that's kind of what we encouraged, but we're like, what the heck? It's the same deal as somebody new coming to us and just saying, I'm referring myself. And I found out about you guys because I Googled you. Am I eligible if I just self-refer and can I get entries? And you absolutely can. So we did promote that to unconverted leads, people that we were quoting, and tell them about this campaign, that this is something they can easily just put their name in the hat for. They don't have to be a current client like a usual referral campaign. Absolutely. And the numbers breakdown was kind of shocking. The number of people that self-referred through the chamber or our Chamber of Commerce's we're a part of, or through golf tournaments, different things, that was actually, I think, about 40 people. It made up over the majority of our referrals. So people self-electing themselves and saying, I want to do business with you. If we would have excluded them, our results would have not been the same. Definitely not.
Yeah, and Andrea, like another important part was it wasn't just the owner, because like Andrea she worked at a company, but she wasn't the owner of the company, right?
Correct. She was actually she still is. I still stay in touch with her, but she was just in she worked for a dental practice, and she's like an insurance accounting something. But her office manager, which she worked real closely with, she knew that they might possibly be getting new phones soon because they were old. And so she just tossed her name out there. That if you looked at these guys, I think you should take a look. And they ended up booking an appointment, setting up with us, and found out we had the best deal and went with us. And it was as simple as just tossing our name out there to the higher ups, because that might be something they would consider swapping out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hunter, congrats again. And yeah, I had to give the numbers so we got people on, because like doing a thing just saying I'm going to show you a cool referral contest doesn't work as well as how to get 75 referrals in 90 days. And I mean, this was one of the things, and I want to underscore, Hunter, like they're doing another contest. He says, like, and if you go on their YouTube site, you'll see some stuff on there. But you said your website is being updated. And I'm sorry, do you have any more slides before I go on? Or I think this was this the last one, or was there one more?
I have two more.
Oh, okay, two more.
I can wrap it up with those.
Okay, okay, here we go.
It's just
Yeah,
kind
these
of
are good.
In a nutshell, what to do, because I know that it's nice to see the big golden nugget at the end of the road and go, well, we could do that, but I don't really know where to start, what things to really implement. And we implemented about 50 different activities during the time of this. So this is nowhere near the end, but these are the things that if you're going to do it, you want to make sure to do all of these. These were the most impactful. So the 72-hour sprint at the beginning, doing a newsletter. At the time, we were doing one every month to our prospects and clients. So they put a full page insert in there, make sure they couldn't miss it. People who had entries, we made this really cute little box, and we got Hot Wheels Tesla cars that were the exact same color and looked the same for people to hold on to and put on their desk. And that kind of just was a stick around to remind them they're entered to win the car. And every new machine install or phone that went out the door, we were putting a postcard in there. So like you mentioned, Mike, it doesn't have to be the owner. It can be an employee of a business, can learn about this campaign and be eligible to win a new car. And it was something legitimate. We used a 9-word email to reactivate some of those folks that were ghosts and tell them, hey, you can self-nominate yourself. And that worked really, really well. And we mailed giant postcards to clients. We also did it to prospects too. But the real big ones that stand out in the mail, so not little 4x6 small guys, they kind of get lost. But real large ones to stand out. I talked about the YouTube videos. We did, since yes, client referrals did come, we wanted to also emphasize to our current client base that you can add on additional services and be eligible and technically refer yourself. And that helped to increase stickiness upon client and increase the MRR there. We did live events with the car that we went to with golf tournaments and chamber events, after hours, before hours, different things. And then we did a launch and giveaway party, starting it and ending it the same way. It is super, super important to do that and get everyone in one place and kind of rallied up for this awesome, really different campaign that you're going to do. That's the top 10 things. You don't want to see the list of 50 things.
Yeah, and I mean, you made the great point though, Hunter. Like you did everything you could think of under the sun. You said a lot of that you wouldn't do again because you didn't get much bang for the buck, which is how most marketing works. So, but you had to do those 50 to find the top 10 that did the things, and that's how you got it. So again, awesome job, Hunter. Let's get into some questions here. So Walter had asked, you mentioned 600 a month and new MRR was needed to cover car, but how much for all the marketing costs? So he did have a slide on that. What did you say? In total, it was about 50K broken out over 3 years, because you gave a 3-year number instead of like I had said the 600 was like a 5-year if you were to take the loan on the car type of thing, but it was 1388 or something like that was what you needed to cover over 3 years if you broke it down into that.
Correct. And we did buy the car outright.
Right.
Questions in there, and we did buy the car outright ourselves because we didn't know how many miles were we going to put on this car. I mean, we drove it everywhere, but we didn't want that to be a concern. And we didn't know how that would work at the end of the giveaway, signing the lease over and all that fun stuff. So we did buy the car outright, but we actually did the math on a 5-year thing initially, and that came out to like $728.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and I can't really, or I did break out the cost of the car and the marketing just to show you that it didn't cost, 50% of the cost wasn't in the promotion, and it was in the bulk of the car, which we couldn't control. So for $5,000 to promote something is really not that much, but the combined cost overall came out to be so little. It was like anybody can do this. You just got to have a plan to execute it.
Yeah, I mean the big thing, if you broke it down by month, you would have had like 3 months of payments on the car, and then obviously all the marketing. But even some of the marketing, like you were already doing client events and some other things, you amped them up and did some more around it. But it's not like you weren't doing it. And like you said, so I guess you got doing the quick math, about a 600 or 700% return on this from like on an MRR basis, if all they stay is over 3 years, but most stay a lot longer. And I know you're still working those 75 leads. You're going to get all the juice you can out of that. So let's see.
We still, I mean, those numbers for MRR, of course, it's recurring. It's the nice thing about our business. But those clients, I checked before I did my talk and then now, they're all still with us. So it's not that, believe it or not, they're all still here. We don't do contracts. So it's not like they came on board just for the gimmick of the car. They will do business with you if you show your value. And that is really why we did this campaign, because no one really knew we existed. And this put us on the map. This made us different from every other IT firm in our area.
So perfect. So couple questions, not necessarily contest related, but they're just interested in your business. So Kim's asking, why month-to-month contracts? Because that's one of your guys' selling points and your kind of USP.
It is. That's a great question, and we've had to defend it many times. So we find that month-to-month contracts work best for us, meaning that it is kind of cliche. We earn your business every month, but it's actually true. We really, really do. And we have the, month-to-month guarantee where if you're not happy, of course, we'll refund you your money. That has not happened, I don't think, but once ever. So the padding is there if they really need it. But the biggest difference, though, is because when we set our foot in the ground and said, we're not doing contracts, no way, no how, that's because everyone in our area was. So no contracts made us different. And to some clientele, it's actually a really good perk because they've been burned by IT people in the past and they're stuck in an agreement. They can't get out of it and they don't ever want to do that again. So we are a good fit for them. But for others, it just shows another reason how we're different when we're paired side by side. Some see it as a plus, some see it as a minus. But for us, it's motivation to do our very best to serve them right so they will stay for years to come.
So here's a question kind of inspired by Patty, but you did this back in 2020. Why the heck are we just talking about this now? Patty's asking, are you going to run another Tesla campaign?
Patty, good question. Putting me on the spot. So I mean, should I tell him, Mike? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we've given out the YouTube channel. There's all this sorts of good stuff.
And I told you to really go to my website tomorrow. That's the problem. Yes, we are absolutely going to do this again. I really hope the website hasn't been updated in the back end and I not know about it. But we are doing it again, but we're not doing a Tesla. And the reason being is because we wanted to test a theory and see, like Mike says, when something works well, oh gosh, oh boy. I gotta check this out now.
Yeah, okay, apparently your website's updated here.
Is it
So,
really?
so yep, it's on your homepage, it says. So here, let's
okay.
go ahead and try.
Yeah. So this, you still have to go there tomorrow. It's still not updated yet. I honestly forgot this video was on there. But it is 100% there. So the cat's out of the bag. You can show whatever you want to, Mike. We can tell.
Yeah, okay.
We can tell.
Okay, well, I'm going to the website, but no, you guys amped it up here. Let's screen share real quick, because I think this was a good questions. Like, we're not just giving you some old information here, but okay, can you see the screen, Hunter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, you guys can kind of guess what the giveaway is here. So they had an awesome video. They're doing this. You don't have to tell any numbers, and I won't tell anything.
And there's the Tesla.
Hunter.
There.
Yeah, you got the Tesla, and then yeah, you took it up a level. So just an awesome video. So yeah, they're giving away the new Corvette there. So this is no base model or anything here, Hunter. You guys went all out on this bad boy.
Yeah, we took the old adage, you know, if it works, double down on it, throw gas on the fire. And we did. We pushed the absolute limit of my marketing budget, let's say, for for this event. But it's good. It's a good thing. It's a very, very good thing.
Yeah, so that's why we're talking about it. They're doing this again. It worked so well. It wasn't just like ho-hum results. They're happy, and so they're bringing this up a level. So some other questions, and I know we're past the time, so thank you guys for hanging out, and thanks, Hunter, for giving your time. Super appreciative, and people are loving this. But let's see. Some other things that we had, and I'll answer because Tito got some other questions that aren't necessarily for Hunter, but want to make sure to respect his time. We talked about the tickets again. So yeah, the tickets were just, you got one entry per PC and one entry per phone if they actually signed up. So if you got like 100-person office and they each had a phone and a PC, that would be 200 entries.
Right.
So did the Tesla winner care about the added mileage from the promotional event? You think her turning in her you say it was a 22-year-old Camry, 1998 or something?
Yeah, it was a 22-year-old Camry. It had over 200,000 miles on it, and when we gave the Tesla away, it had 4,000 miles.
Oh, so you guys drove that thing? Okay.
Yeah, we drove it.
Okay.
I mean, I drove it everywhere, and we took it down the drag strip, and we acted like it was ours.
Yeah.
But she didn't care because it was still pristine condition, and so she was like, "Sure, yeah."
No, awesome. And now, did you put like a sticker, or did you magnets or anything, like find out how to win this car? Or like, I know the new Corvette, you've got like, that thing's like a NASCAR sticker for you guys. Like, you got Comtech all over that bad boy.
Yeah, so that is one thing that is a mistake that we made for the Tesla giveaway. We did not wrap the vehicle, and we were afraid it was going to mess up the paint or do something like that, and it was going to cost too much, etc. But wrapping the vehicle is essential if you're taking it on sales calls, if you're taking it to events, it catches the eye. And, we're always learning and growing. So we didn't do that the first time around, but we absolutely wrapped the Corvette in like no time because we knew it would make a big difference. It already stands out on the road, but it really pops with some decal.
Yeah, that thing, I mean, it looks like it's a sponsored race car. So got a couple questions from both Tito and Peter. They're saying, hey, why for the 18 new clients is the total MRR, like you kind of addressed this, was under, I'll just call it under 10 grand. I forget the exact amount.
No, that's a great question. So we do phone systems as well as IT. And unfortunately, our phone systems average MRR is only like $400. So it's not a whole bunch, and we got a lot of phone deals during this campaign. of people self-referring themselves, and they were, 5 phones, 10 phones, something like that. They weren't very big, but unfortunately the MRR wasn't big either. So that makes our overall MRR number lower due just for that reason. And
Yeah, but
so,
one of the things you guys do well though is over time you convert so many of those phone only deals into managed service clients.
we do, and we have really changed our targeting for who we want as a client from the Tesla campaign to now. So when we get phone deals now, they are like prime ideal IT clients as well. And it's not often the case, with everyone, but 80% of the people will get their phones first, and then we'll get their IT, which is really where we want them to be, where we can add the most value.
Yeah, perfect. Let's see. Okay, guys, if you have other questions for Hunter, especially make sure to put those in. I'm going to run through a couple on here that I don't think were geared towards Hunter, but Hunter, feel free to chime in if you've had other discussions about these. So some people said, hey, so like Tia said, haven't had success with a referral campaign or contest before. We did a nice 65-inch LG TV as a prize. What are the fallback for if the car thing didn't go well? So, and that's why I put the link in there, Tito, also the comtechnc.com/Tesla, because they have the rules of the contest. Because you guys like consulted with an attorney or something and said, hey, what if we get 0 people or whatever? So you guys had some stipulations in there where you didn't have to give the car away if certain things didn't happen, correct?
Yes, we had a minimum MRR number we had to have, and we didn't say number of clients because one client could have covered, but we did have to have a certain amount of money with signed on an agreement that we knew was going to be coming in before we gave the car away. But we didn't say that to anyone publicly, because if we did, that would harpen, people's incentive to referral. It's like we're not taking as big of a risk. Most people aren't seeing the fine print.
Right. Yeah, and you did have that though on the form. Like I think it's still there. Like when I was looking the other day at the slash, like you still had your rules, your eligibility rules. So they were upfront about it. And like in talking with Hunter, he's like, well, we'll just extend it another 30 days, another 30 days until like we hit it so that people still know. So it wasn't going away. It's not like we're not giving the car. We just need whatever, another 1,000 in MRR, and then we're giving it away. So you can create those fallbacks with that. Do talk with an attorney about contest rules in your state or in your area. Everything along those lines, that's important. I know Hunter, I think we sent over our better your best rules. Like ours, except this applies to Tennessee and who we are. So just grab an attorney on it. It's very simple thing. But Tito, the other thing, I'd say to everybody on here, like the 65-inch LG TV, that's great. But I'd look, if you're gonna do that, why don't you do it like, hey, everyone who gives you a referral that actually closes like over the next 3 months, or have a theme for the 30 or 60 or 90 days, because like just create a price point. If you would pay $1,000 for a new client in general, just give that to everyone who gives you a new client. And I think that'll be better, because that's why I said you've got to have a big ass prize. So many people go like too small, and I know that's nice, but a chance to win a 65-inch TV isn't as much as, hey, I give you this and you get a 65-inch TV when they become a client.
I got another idea I'll throw at you really quickly.
Please.
Is you mentioned big, and you need to do it like in your office. Ask people, would you like to win a TV? Oh, yeah. I would like to. That's cool. But then see their response when you keep getting bigger. Like for us, as an example, you don't have to go as big as a Tesla or a car. You can start gradual. Let's say if you've already done a TV, then that's cool. Go quite a bit bigger. Say, give them the option. Mike, would you rather go to the beach next year for a week on us, or would you rather spend a week in the mountains when it's cold on us? Which one? And they go, oh, I haven't had a beach vacation in forever, man. My family would love that. That's what you want to do. And it'll only cost you $5,000 versus $500. But your energy level will be completely different, because it's a whole different thing. It's an experience. And it only costs $5,000, but it may mean the world to someone else that's entered. And that's not.
No, absolutely. And that's a great point because after your presentation at Producer Club Hunter, we had a member who came up and they must have talked with you or somehow gotten wind that maybe they're in your accountability group or something. And they came up and they said they're actually out the Louisville area where there's the Corvette Museum and you can like get a Corvette
Yeah,
for a weekend and take a like race it and do all this stuff. And he's like, he asked a bunch of clients, hey, what if you got a Corvette for a weekend and we put you through a driving course and did all that? They're like, cool. And but it's like you said, he said, well, what about if we were giving away a Corvette for referrals? He's like, it was like 50x the reaction. They're like, oh yeah, like I will refer everybody I know to win a Corvette. So a Corvette for weekends, nice. A Corvette, like that's something most people are never going to have in their life. Not even something that people who have the money are necessarily going to have because it's just one of those things. It's that extra kind of toy. So I think that's an important thing. Matt was asking, hey, do you remember how many clients you had before the campaign approximately?
yeah, I mean, we've done a ton of phone systems, so that really skews our numbers. I keep saying that, but unfortunately it does. So we had probably 225 clients, I would say, probably 225. We're 2 or 3 years later, we're up to 340, something around there. But a lot more IT deals are climbing. So
Yeah.
probably so. Yeah.
Well,
We still only have 100 IT clients, I'll say, that are really, really good.
well, 100
that
IT clients, just so you know, Hunter, that's a pretty good number.
I mean, everything's relative. I don't know. I live under a rock, man.
So, anyways, yeah, that's why he was happy at the golf course because he finally got out of his house. So, let's see if you guys have any other questions. I'm just trying to
I'm
see.
looking through as well.
Yeah. So I'd say you don't have to do a car. Like, figure out something like, and it doesn't have to be just one winner. You could say, hey, everyone throughout this year, if you refer a client, like you could have a prize for everybody. You could have quarterly prizes. I do like a time bound thing, just because, like Hunter says, it's hard to keep up that same kind of interest in the contest. And if it's going to be this whole year, there's not that urgency. So that's why you need to build in those mini kind of rush periods on it. So yeah, what would be a great alternative gift to a Tesla, especially if you're a smaller MSP? And Hunter just kind of mentioned that, but that's where if you figure out an experiential gift, that's a real good one, something that people might not do for themselves. So for instance, so this may not be your guys' thing, it's my thing. So I would do it if I was if I was running an MSP, but in Chicago, there's a restaurant called Alinea. Just went there this summer, but several times it's been the number one restaurant like in the world. And it's not inexpensive. It's about a 20-course meal. And you have to buy tickets 90 days ahead of time. They release it once a quarter for the next quarter, and they sell out within like a day or two for tickets to the restaurant. And it's about $600 for that. Then you can add on things from there. So like that, it's not a crazy amount, but most people will never do that. They don't even know how to do it, whatever. They haven't heard of it. But I guarantee anyone who went would have a story of a lifetime for that. You could do that for 2 or for 4 people or whatever for $1,200. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's crazy expensive out there. Like the Corvette, even though it's not the same as giving away a Corvette, I'd still like to have a Corvette for a weekend and learn how to race it and do all that kind of thing. That would be a cool thing. Now, if you could do something bigger, go bigger, but start with it. Like Hunter, they didn't start with the Corvette to begin with, and I know Tesla is still a big prize there, but you don't have to start with the Tesla. But do start with more than just the TV as a chance to win. Give away a TV for each one. Have themes each month where you give away something for that.
Know your audience is an important thing. Your target market, your demographic, your people. For a core, Tesla was good for office managers and people that they were driving a car of equivalent value. But now that our target market has changed and we're really going upstream, a Corvette screams louder and is more it appeals to those people better that we're going after. And so it really elevated that target audience we were going for. But like that person who did the Corvette drive on the weekend, they're already in Louisville. So they already know about that. They can do that themselves and go on that drive. But once you tell them they do something extra they don't normally do, that really perks up their attention.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's all the questions. I know we've gone way past. So Hunter, once again, congrats. Good luck on this new contest. I know we'll hear about the results when you once that's over. But guys, check it out. Learn from Hunter. I mean, you guys just keep doing an amazing job with that. Hope to see you guys at Roadshow, and I'm gonna leave them with the video of Andrea winning here. So thanks again, Hunter.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Yep.
Fun time. Loved it.
Okay, let's do this thing. So bye, guys.
Mike, you share your sound. There you go.
There we go. Up here. Oh, we'll restart it for that. I don't know. Look at Andrea driving up.
That's the Camry. Old
Okay.
There she is. All right. Congrats.
My whole life.
What do you think?
I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
It's unlocked. You're good.
Yeah, congrats.
Go ahead, get in.
Hop in your new car.
She knows how the door handle works.
There you go. She's been studying.
I've been studying. Yay! I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Definitely a good Christmas.
She's tickled. I would be too.
Yes.
Everybody at work said that I took it a octave different. I was upstairs and everybody downstairs heard me.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Did they video it?
Good. Good deal. Awesome.
Exciting!
Yeah.
Here's our winner.
There we go. All right.
We can put a bow on it for you.
Yes, you did.
That's
Package it pretty
awesome.
for you.
That's
It's just
awesome.
Okay, thanks all. Thanks again, Hunter. We'll see y'all next time. Bye
Thanks,
now.
everyone.